Good evening, everyone. I'm Alameda County Supervisor Nate Miley, representing District 4. Thank you for tuning in this evening to my State of the District message. District 4 is composed of communities in Oakland, the communities of Ashland, Cherryland, Castro Valley, and Fairview, as well as the entire city of Pleasanton. Once again, thank you for joining me. Before I get into my priorities, let me just talk a little bit about the county in general. Alameda County is the 22nd, 23rd largest county in the nation. There are roughly 3,000 counties throughout the United States of America. Alameda County financially is in very good health. Our budget's about $3.4 billion. The budget provides for nearly 10,000 employees. And we have $565 million in contracts to community-based organizations. And we contract with roughly 332 community-based organizations to help us provide services throughout the county. Last year, we closed a budget deficit of nearly $66 million. We've had a deficit for many, many years, and we anticipate having a deficit again this fiscal year, but we will close the deficit and balance the budget once again, and we will do that responsibly. I'm also pleased to acknowledge that Alameda County last year achieved a triple designation with the AAA. This rating, provided by all three credit agencies, was given to Alameda County, and we're one of only 2 counties in the state of California that has attained a triple designation. The AAA rating enables the county to borrow money at a lower interest rate, which really is beneficial for us when we come to addressing our infrastructure needs and also saving the taxpayers substantial money. The economic climate that we see in Alameda County, the unemployment rate is below 3%. The economic expansion is the second longest ever in the history of the nation. The median price of the homes in Alameda County is roughly $800,000. While the labor market remains strong, higher interest rates and global indicators signal an increasing likelihood that there could be an economic downturn. And for that reason, we need to be cautious. Even though at this point in time we have a new governor and a state legislature and things are rosy in Sacramento, we still have to be very cautious to be aware that there could be a possible recession on the horizon. So we continue to be very frugal with our resources and having both a balanced budget and a healthy reserve, both in the county and in the state. And finally, we do face some uncertainties at the federal level. Immigration, tax reform, and also trade policy could produce some other intangibles that might affect Alameda County. Now let me turn to some of my priorities. So I have been working to address a number of issues, both countywide and in my district. So first of all, one priority is the 2020 census. We want to ensure that there's an accurate count for the 2020 census and that there's not an undercount. The census is important because it provides for both redistricting for political boundaries and also provides resources so that we can provide services. If people are not counted, we don't have all the resources that we are entitled to have. So the Board of Supervisors allocated $1.5 million to begin our census effort, and we've been working closely with the state in preparation for the 2020 census. Another thing that we're working on is probate and conservatorship reform, and that ties into my agenda with seniors because we're very concerned about elder abuse. We don't want to see seniors lose their assets. We don't want to see conservatorships placed upon seniors inappropriately. In addition to probate reform and conservatorship reform around older adults, we're working with older adults to ensure transportation so that older adults through travel training aren't remaining isolated in their homes and they're comfortable taking public transportation and getting around. And speaking of their homes, I'm going to talk a little bit about housing, but let me just say affordable housing continues to be an issue for seniors. And one of our strategies with seniors is a whole approach around shared housing. Additionally, with seniors, it's food insecurity. We're working to ensure that seniors have sufficient and adequate and healthy food on a daily basis. Finally, with seniors, we want to continue to support seniors living healthy and aging successfully. So in addition to the census, probate reform, all the things associated with older adults, we're working on housing. Housing is a major priority, housing and homelessness. The county allocated through Measure A, the bond measure a number of years ago that passed, it was nearly $600 million. Now, of that $600 million that was allocated, as of January of this year, the county has appropriated roughly $81 million for 19 housing developments throughout the county. That's produced over, well, let's just say nearly 1,100 affordable housing units for low and very low income populations and households. And that's throughout the county as well. We've also put together, through our Homeless Council, a plan, action plan, to try to address homelessness. Homelessness is a very difficult issue, and we've appropriated $340 million through our Homeless Action Plan over the next 3 years, 2018 through 2021. This appropriation of these resources are for mental health personnel to work with the homeless, it's for navigators, it's for outreach workers, it's for housing resource centers, it's for efforts to try to prevent displacement because we don't want to see people losing their homes. We want to provide resources to keep people in their homes as well. We want to work on ensuring that we can produce more housing stock because the issue with homelessness is also driven by the fact that there's a housing shortage. And that shortage is produced by the fact that we have a lot of folks that are moving into California and the Bay Area for jobs. And there's a jobs housing imbalance. There's many more jobs than there's affordable housing. And what's happening is as people move in for jobs, they are displacing people who are in their houses. So we're trying to both work on producing more housing as well as keeping people in their homes. And in an effort to try to look at the homeless issue, coming up with tiny homes and other approaches that help get people into housing on a short-term basis and then on a permanent basis as well. That's part of the county's expenditure around our $340 million of our homeless action plan. We're working with the homeless to ensure that there's services provided to homeless. We're working on a homeless encampment strategy. We're working with cities in Alameda County to address homelessness. We're looking to hold a joint meeting with the Oakland City Council around homelessness as well. So we're really grappling with this whole issue of homelessness because everyone deserves to live in a home and to be sheltered and not to be unsheltered. And we take the responsibility of working on homelessness very seriously. That's a big problem and a big priority of mine, housing and homelessness. Another issue that is a priority of mine is illegal dumping. Illegal dumping isn't just an issue that affects a city or an area or a community. It's a regional issue around illegal dumping. The illegal dumping brings down the quality of life in communities. And we're looking at addressing illegal dumping through strategies that we call eradication, education, and enforcement. Eradication, education, and enforcement. Eradication, we need to work to ensure that we clean up these illegal dumping locations. But if we just clean them up and we don't have enforcement, the dumping continues. That's why enforcement is important. And education so that people don't dump in the first place. So through our efforts, we're working with the City of Oakland, city officials, the Public Works Department in Oakland, the Mayor's Office, the City Council member, to target a couple of locations in Oakland that are plagued with illegal dumping and employ our strategy. Put out cameras, work with the community, do more eradication and education and also enforcement efforts in those targeted locations with the City of Oakland. We're working on a legislative agenda that we're taking into Sacramento because we feel a lot of the illegal dumping comes from unregulated haulers who we all as consumers will call up a hauler to take items away, and the hope is that they're going to take it to the dump and it's going to be properly disposed of. But many times these unregulated haulers just go around the corner and they dump it. And so we're working to see if we can regulate these unregulated haulers through a manifest type program and a permit type program. We don't want to criminalize people, but there needs to be some type of sanctions for illegal dumping so that we can ensure that folks are taking this responsibility appropriately. So we want to regulate unregulated haulers, and we want to give consumers the opportunity to work with us on that as well. In addition, we're looking at education because it's important that young people understand that illegal dumping isn't evil, it's repugnant. Just like we might consider other types of things repugnant, maybe, let's say, tobacco smoking or secondhand smoke. So we're wanting to make sure that young people see illegal dumping, trash, and litter as repugnant, something not to do, and they influence their peers, and they also influence parents and adults and others not to trash, not to illegally dump, because we all share that responsibility. Because illegal dumping is all of our responsibility. It's not just one person's responsibility, it's everybody's responsibility to address and deal with illegal dumping and trash. We're looking at how we can address the issue of cigarette butts. We're working with the California Product Stewardship Council on that effort as well. So we have a legislative agenda. We're working with the District Attorney's Office here in Alameda County, the Sheriff's Department here in Alameda County on enforcement. And I've convened an illegal dumping task force. And through the illegal dumping task force, we have talked to Contra Costa County, Vallejo, San Jose, Los Angeles, and others, all looking at how we're all going about trying to deal with illegal dumping so we can come up with the best practices and approaches and lessons learned and collaborate on an agenda, a comprehensive agenda that would get a better handle on illegal dumping. Because once again, illegal dumping brings down the quality of life in all of our communities. And so it's something that needs to be addressed and addressed expeditiously. So that's another priority. So in addition to seniors, the census, probate and conservatorship reform, homelessness and housing, illegal dumping, there are a few other things that I continue to make priorities. My violence prevention initiative, where we're trying to make sure we prevent violence, particularly throughout urban communities, but any part of the county, because any form of violence is repugnant. Any form of violence is repugnant and should be discouraged and diminished and prevented. Cannabis, that's another major priority. Cannabis is a legal product here in the state of California. So we're looking to see how we can implement the cannabis regulations in an appropriate manner that allows for that industry to grow, but grow in a regulatory scheme that is appropriate and wholesome and doesn't affect the quality of life for young people, our communities, or anyone else, as people continue to use cannabis for adult use, or if they have to use it for medical purposes. So we're working on the cannabis industry appropriate implementation of regulations around cannabis. We're looking to work on and continue to work on economic opportunities for small, local, emerging businesses. We want to ensure that small contractors, minority contractors, women contractors, local contractors have opportunities to help us build housing, tiny homes for the homeless, to help put together prefabricated homes, to help us move an agenda with our A1 housing monies in an appropriate manner that all provides opportunities for small local businesses to thrive and build their capacity, but also to build the housing and produce jobs, employment, and things like that. So ultimately, it's a win-win situation on many, many fronts. Through that effort, we can encourage support of our local contractors. Those are some of the county-wide agendas that I'm working on for District 4. But there are other, let's just say, other important items too that I'm working on that are priorities of mine in my district. And I'm going to kind of go through some of the areas. In the unincorporated Eden area, we're working on producing an Eden Area Municipal Advisory Council. That Municipal Advisory Council would take in responsibilities for providing advice and guidance for San Lorenzo, San Lorenzo, Ashland, Cherryland, and Hayward Acres, similar to what we have in Castro Valley and Fairview. We held a My Eden Voice Summit with hundreds of people that came out to help develop leadership in the Eden area, and that was very successful. We are winding down our Eden Area Livability Initiative, our ELI initiative, because that initiative was a 10-year initiative to produce a more livable community and provide for a vision for a more livable community in the unincorporated community. But as a result of that, we've had a lot of strategies and projects that came about and a lot of ancillary benefits that grew out of the Eden Area Livability Initiative that will continue to live on and thrive and help us to continue to move in a direction that's producing a wholesome quality of life in the Eden area. In Cherryland, we opened up a new fire station in Cherryland, but this year we'll be opening up a Cherryland Community Center that we expect to open up in the fall of 2019. We've started a Cherryland street sweeping program. Now, this is something that came up through the grassroots. The people of Cherryland asked us to come up with a street sweeping program to help deal with cars that were illegally parked and had overstayed their time on the street, as well as address debris and trash and other things in Cherryland through a street sweeping program. We've implemented that, and that took more or less a year to bring about, but that's underway. We'll be having the groundbreaking of a Cherryland Place. In Ashland, we've had the Fall Festival and the we've had the Fan Fest run, and we're going to be having the Fan Fest Festival in June of this year. So we'll be having both a Fan Fest run and a Fan Fest Festival, two different events in Ashland to bring about more civic pride in the Ashland community. We've worked to provide more direction and development for REACH. REACH is 5 years old. That's our youth center. And we've worked with the Healthcare Services Agency and the Sheriff's Department to build a stronger collaboration there, as well as with other county agencies and also our other partners in the unincorporated area, the Hayward Area Recreation District and the San Lorenzo Unified School District, as well as the Office of Education, so that REACH can now, after 5 years, continue its journey of providing activities, career enhancements, youth development in the unincorporated area for young people, but also do that in a manner that promotes both the young people and their communities. We'll be also opening up the Ashland Market Place and Cafe, which is right next to REACH, this coming March. In Castro Valley, another major project in Castro Valley that I'm really proud that we will be seeing its opening later this year is the Castro Valley Marketplace at the old Daughtry's building. That will be a destination point. I'm very, very proud of that project finally coming to fruition and opening up hopefully late this spring or early summer. We're working to create a Veterans Center at the old Castro Valley Library. The veterans have been very energized and very, let's say, assertive in wanting to see a Veterans Center at the old Castro Valley Library, so we're working to ensure that that comes to fruition. There are other things that are happening throughout the unincorporated area as well, but before I go to a few other things, let me just talk a little bit about Fairview. In Fairview, we created the Fairview MAC, and they celebrated their one-year anniversary in November of last year. And the Fairview MAC is the Fairview Municipal Advisory Council. It does the same thing as the Castro Valley Municipal Advisory Council. So in essence, we have a Castro Valley MAC, we have a Fairview MAC, and we're creating an Eden Area MAC to help provide local guidance on how the communities in those areas would like to see the county move forward with quality of life type issues in their communities around land use, around public safety, around public health and welfare and other things. And so those municipal MACs that are enacted and created by the county and appointed by the county help provide us with that type of guidance. So those are some really important governance matters. In addition, in the unincorporated area, we've got a number of street projects that are coming to fruition in 2019. We've got the East 14th Street Corridor Improvement Project. We've got the Santa Maria sidewalk project. We've got the East Avenue sidewalk project. We've got the Haviland sidewalk project. We've got the Center Street sidewalk project. We've got the Stanton Avenue sidewalk project. And we've got the San Lorenzo Trail project. All of these are projects in the unincorporated area that we expect to come to fruition or to be further along in their development this year in 2019 that are going to improve the quality of life in terms of both pedestrian safety, addressing traffic congestion, helping to bring about a more wholesome engagement for the communities in the unincorporated area. So we're really pleased with those projects. And I would want to encourage citizens to use the mobile citizen app and report issues of graffiti and other types of maintenance issues to our public health, to our public works staff so that we can address those. So use the mobile citizen app that we have in the unincorporated area. Now moving out to Pleasanton. In Pleasanton, I regularly appear on TV 30 to talk about things that are affecting Pleasanton and the Tri-Valley. I meet regularly with city officials in Pleasanton, the city manager, other city officials, the mayor, city council members, as well on a regular basis, I and my staff. And at this time, I also want to congratulate Kathy Neerum on being reelected to the city council, and also Julie Teska for being elected to the Pleasanton City Council. Looking forward to serving and working with the two of you. Zone 7, in 2017, we worked with Zone 7 to address the issues of erosion around the Arroyo de Laguna Creek. And we're really pleased to work with Zone 7 and now their new general manager, Valerie Pryor, on efforts to continue to address issues in the Tri-Valley that come under the jurisdiction of Zone 7. We are also appearing at the farmers markets in Pleasanton. You'll be seeing me there on a regular basis, either myself or my staff, now that there's no longer a first Wednesday. We want to make sure we have an opportunity to just engage with the citizens of Pleasanton and others who come to the Pleasanton Farmers Market on a regular basis. You might even see us on occasion at the Castro Valley Farmers Market, but that's an aside. Let me just stick with Pleasanton. We're in Pleasanton. We're also looking to address the issues of cut-through traffic, particularly traffic on Foothill Boulevard, or excuse me, Foothill Road. The cut-through traffic on Foothill Road has really been an issue and really been a problem for years. And we got a commitment from Caltrans that they will install a traffic signal at the Niles Canyon Road and the Sonol Road and by the fall of 2019. And we're really hoping that that helps to address the cut-through traffic. There are other traffic issues that we're working on in Pleasanton as well, but that's one of the major concerns. And then finally, in Pleasanton, the county fairgrounds are in Pleasanton, and the fairgrounds, through the fair, has come up with a strategic plan and strategic vision for the fairgrounds. And one of those, part of that vision calls for a hotel to be developed in Pleasanton, and we're looking forward to moving that agenda forward for a potential hotel in Pleasanton. I know RFPs have gone out for that, and we'll be seeing whether or not we're successful in getting a possible hotel developed on the fairgrounds in Pleasanton. I've already mentioned cannabis, but I want to mention cannabis and also hemp. Cannabis and hemp come from the same plant, the marijuana plant. Both cannabis and hemp are legal in the state of California. The thing is, cannabis is not a legal product throughout the country, although most states, or majority of the states, recognize cannabis in one form or another as for adult use or for medical use. Hemp, though, is an agricultural product from the marijuana plant. It is legal both in the state of California and it's legal throughout the country. So we're working to develop the hemp industry. So not only the cannabis industry, but trying to develop the hemp industry. Both are derived from the marijuana plant. That's another major thing that we're pushing on. I've already mentioned housing. Let me just say that in District 4, Cottinger Gardens opened up phase 2 and producing a number of housing units in Pleasanton. We also had Bermuda Gardens open up in the unincorporated Ashland. We had Sunflower Hills in Pleasanton that produced more affordable housing units. Collectively, with With those 3 projects alone, it was close to 200 housing units. And we've had other projects in the city of Oakland, my district, that have also opened up to provide more affordable housing. I want to shift gears and talk a little bit about the Black Joy Parade that's coming up this coming Saturday. Really pleased to be participating in the Black Joy Parade this year. And our focus in the Black Joy Parade is joy and justice. Joy and justice. We really feel it's important that people get civically engaged, that people register to vote, because elections matter. So I'm kicking off my Joy and Justice campaign, my Joy and Justice initiative at the Black Joy Parade this coming Saturday. I encourage you all to come out and join us at the Black Joy Parade, and then also to help us promote joy and justice. And once again, it's all about civic engagement, voter registration, and then voting. It's important that everybody exercise that right to vote. A few final things I'd just like to say. Through the Alameda County Transportation Commission, that's the commission that people have approved Measure BB funding for, that provides money for transportation improvement and transportation programs for seniors and free school bus passes and things of that nature for young people. But through the Transportation Commission, we've produced express lanes on 580 in the Tri-Valley to help alleviate problems with congestion. We are working to complete Route 84 improvements as well, and widen Route 84 in the Pleasanton area leading into Livermore. We're also working to put express lanes on Route 680. All of this as an effort to produce and alleviate the problems of traffic congestion. I do want to acknowledge, though, there's only so much that can be done in terms of road improvements. We have to constantly try to work on getting more people out of their cars, using mass transit, using other forms of transportation that doesn't involve a vehicle, because we just can't build enough freeways to get ourselves out of this congestion, particularly with more and more people coming to the Bay Area and the population of the Bay Area continue to grow. We just have to recognize that and try to do the best we can to continue to see how we can alleviate traffic congestion. In Castro Valley, we've got the Castro Valley local area traffic circulation plan that has been underway as well. Through the Transportation Commission, we're working on the East Bay Greenway. That's a linear trail or park from Oakland to Fremont, and that's another example of how we can alleviate congestion, because with the East Bay Greenway, people can bike, they could walk along that pathway. It would be connected to BART stations, and so it'll be a way for people to utilize a transit corridor and not be in a vehicle. And so we're really moving forward to try to get that East Bay Greenway, see that into fruition and completion. It's entering environmental stages now, in design stages. I'd be remiss if I didn't say at least one thing about our MEDS Coalition, our Medication, Education, Disposal, Safety Coalition. You know, the MEDS Coalition came about as a result of our efforts to ensure that the pharmaceutical industry took responsibility for unwanted medications and pharmaceuticals at the end of their life, and when they have expired or people no longer want those medications. And so, you know, that legislation that the county enacted became national legislation that was modeled by other jurisdictions, because it went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, and you know we won in the U.S. Supreme Court. So now in Alameda County, I'm pleased to state that we have over 70 medication disposal bins in the county, so people can conveniently go and dispose of their medications. We want to get more, but we started with very few, and now we're up to 70. And in addition, we have 35 disposal bins for sharps. This is extremely, extremely important, because we don't want people to hoard their medications or these sharps. We don't want them to improperly dispose of them by throwing them in the trash can, flushing medications down the toilet, things of that nature. We want them to conveniently dispose of them properly. So this is really huge to have so many disposal locations. In conclusion, I want to thank you for tuning in to my State of the District 4. You know, this is my second time doing this State of District 4. I did it last year. We're doing it again this year. If you like what we've done, let us know. And we'll be doing this again for 2020. And I want to have you continue to check out our list of upcoming events in 2019 as well. And stay in touch with my office. And you can contact my Oakland office at area code 510-272-6694. That's 510-272-6694. You can visit us on our website and take a look at us there. That's www.acgov.org/board.district4. Once again, that's www.acgov.org/board.district4. Or you can email us at district4@acgov.org. Follow me on social media. And once again, please let us know your thoughts, your feelings, your concerns, your opinions. And thanks for tuning in this evening to my second annual State of the District, District 4.